Hey, how you doing? Okay, let's do this to it. Let's do a study. I'll get the studies up. Come on. Alright, we're gonna do the Steinitz variation of the French now. Play the French. So, E4, E6, D4, and D5. Knight E there. This is the Steinitz variation of the French. This is when this is actually Grandmaster Simon Williams said he's going to be. Believe he's going to be coming out with a new French defense thing on his site pretty soon. But the one that he did, the Killer French 1 and 2, he said the one thing when he was doing chess that really scared him the most was in the French F4. F4 was always something that he didn't like seeing on the board. He said anything but F4 because he says it's all based on trying to hold the center together. And of course, C5 is your main break, so then knight F3, the Steinitz variation, then knight C6, bishop E3 to hold everything, queen B6 to attack, and attack, knight E4, queen A5 check, C3, and this you're thinking, oh, yip-de-doo-dah, we get to win the knight. No, the queen protects the knight. Then C takes D, C takes, actually, before was actually played, he says that this is an exclam move for white. You take here, he takes, bishop takes, check, bishop D2, bishop takes, knight takes, and then you have B3 or B6. Instead, there is a subline here. G5 could actually be played. It's a dubious move, but he said that he's actually seen it. The author has actually seen a player play that, and what would happen is rook B1. Second. Hold on. Sorry. Rook b1. G G takes f, and then bishop b5. Rook b8, and then knight c5. Queen c3, knight d3, with a big edge for white. This was actually in Short versus Timid, Amsterdam, 1994. It's also saying that there's one other line that could potentially be used after bishop e6, bishop d3, exclam. This is an exclam move here. White's extraordinary knight is worth more than the 3 pawns. There's after this, there's knight to c5, which is a dubious move. That's what he's saying. The first line, because knight g5 and hold on. Oh, knight takes c5. Sorry, knight takes c5. B takes c5, and then castles, and g3 to stop this. G3 you're going to find in some French openings. You're going to say, why in the world does the Grandmaster play g3? The reason the Grandmaster plays g3 is because f5 wants to be played and undermine the pawn structure, but now if white played f5, you can play g takes f5 and then have this massive pawn chain of happiness that we would like. Rook c1, queen b6, queen a4 check, bishop d7, queen a3, rook c8. Rook b1. There's one other line here that he was talking about of castles. Then castles, bishop takes, check, king takes, queen, knight h5, check, king g8, knight f3, f6, and then knight g5. This is really an interesting move for sure. If he takes there, he takes here, and if he takes, actually you could just lock that down if you wanted to and just play g6, and there's really no way to now prevent mate from happening on h7. So okay, they're talking that potentially bishop a6 could be played here, knight b2, knight c5, Bishop takes. Queen takes, of course. Queen e2. Queen a3. Knight b5 check. King e7. And then castles. Queen e3. Check. Rook f2. c8. Rook f1. Queen c3. Rook f3. d3. Rook d1. Queen d4 check. King h1. Knight e4. Knight takes e4. With actually white is slightly better here. This is yeah, John Nunn actually played this, and it's one for actually it's played twice. Interesting. One was 22 years ago. Huh. Wow, it got played 22 years ago and then recently played. Alrighty. Let's pull up another board. Okay. Okay, 9. queen c7, and bishop e2, bishop e7, castles, g4, and b5. Okay. Let's see here. Knight c5, a5, a3, he takes, knight takes d, bishop takes d, he takes, and then f5. And it's an equal position. Let's see if there's a game that goes to it. Yep. Yep, that's the game. Okay, we'll do 2 of these, and then we'll see if we have enough time to come back and do another one. We'll do a Frank Marshall game really fast. Alright, let's do it to it. This won the Brilliance Prize for Marshall. It's the Queen's Pawn opening. An excellent game. White plays a very fine combination, but then flounders and gives Black the opportunity to seize the initiative. So he played a really good. White played a really good game. Marshall's black, and his opponent's white. So both of them are getting their king pawns out. BD2, knight c6, bishop e2, and then bishop to f5. It kind of reminds me of a slightly reverse London. This involves a pawn sacrifice, which is quite sound. However, the unnatural passive characteristic of White's opening play is quite provocative. So pawn takes. Pawn e5. Bishop b5. Queen c7. b5, b4. Bishop to e7. And then bishop to b2 with the idea of knight to d7 to guard against this. a3. This finally puts the last protection on this pawn. So I gotta get a drink and then we'll get started. Castle kingside. Pawn c4. Inviting black to begin a combination. This invites black to begin a combination via queen bishop d3. Queen to b3. Pawn d4. Then pawn takes pawn. Perhaps another line could be bishop takes knight, as played by Spillman and earlier in the earlier round. Pawn takes bishop. Pawn takes pawn. Pawn takes pawn. Knight to d4. Knight to e5. Rook to rook d1. Knight to let me make sure I do this right. Bishop takes. Okay, pawn takes. Pawn takes. Ah, that's the reason. Missed a line. Queen takes. that's where this knight move comes in. I was wondering where the knight move would come in. And if knight takes here, it's actually mate. So if you were thinking, whoa, I get the knight. Yeah, but then you get checkmated. So he has to play queen b3. Queen c6. Knight to white would resign. This gives us the idea of what was to be expected in the present game. Queen takes bishop's actually a mistake. Obviously, but not the best continuation was this move. Knight knight c3 was actually a double exclam move. It's a brilliant move, and white should win after the text. Black seizes the initiative, but he didn't play this brilliant move because see what we're looking at is that's under attack and that's under attack, so he can't really save both. If he tries to save this, I guess potentially you can try a3 and b5 takes pawn takes, and then takes. But I'm thinking still white's better here, so queen takes queen takes knight, exclam, pawn takes, rook turns into queen, rook takes queen, and knight to d4. Knight takes the f2 pawn. If knight takes bishop here, if knight takes bishop, then knight takes rook. It is actually a good attack for because so it's a perfectly sound sacrifice. Yeah, he's just getting chewed up here, and white is basically getting mauled. Right, and if king takes here, that equals mate. So the king has to actually come here. Knight takes rook. Rook takes knight. And queen to b5 check. And Black's forces have coordinated with their remote, with great economic support of our forces. We were able to just storm. We could just storm him. So we have enough material to cause some damage, and we're going to try to keep our queens on the board so that we're good. Okay. Puzzle time. Let's do it to it. Okay. Alright, French defense. Oops, sorry, I need to. Gotta give it some time to reboot. It'll load up. Just gotta be patient, and then we'll be ready when it's time. Almost. Hey, how you doing? We're just getting into the puzzle, so you got here just in time for puzzle time. My internet's a little slow tonight, so you gotta be patient with my my computer and my internet. There we go. Sometimes I get a good connection, sometimes I don't. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh boy, it's... oh, perfect. Good. It's back. Okay. So 3, 2... Do you have the move? Do you have the move? Do you have it? Let's see. Okay. Let's give it a go now. Alrighty then. Oh no? Okay. Oops. Drat, my bad, I'm sorry. I missed a pawn move. Okay. I missed a pawn. I don't know how that happened. Okay. So this is the reason here. This is a yeah, basically queen takes, rook takes, and kaboom right in there. And if king moves, then rook takes is much better. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I missed a pawn move there. Gotta laugh at things sometimes. That is funny. Moving an extra pawn, putting the pawn in the wrong spot. That is funny. There we go. Let's make sure now we got this right. Okay. 2, so we got that. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's good. And that's good. Perfect. Okay, we got this now. This should be a walk in the park. Yep, that's it. That's the easy walk. So, there we go. Yep. Kaboom. There you go. We're on record pace right now. Let's see if we can keep it up. sure. Excuse me. That I got this right. There. I forgot a king for black. Hey, how you doing? How'd everything go? Did you have fun at the tournament? Oh yeah, it's Thursday. Sorry, that's tomorrow. I got my days turned around. What I should say is, do you feel ready for the tournament? And like my coach would tell me, if you don't feel ready, what can you do? Nice. You know what? That's it right there. If you feel ready and you know you got it, then that's worth it right there. It's all about perspective, like what we talk about at the end all the time. Is mindset is everything in chess, and not letting the guard, affect your mindset. I call that voice that always says that you're not ready voice, that voice. I always call it that because you know what? It tries to stop you from doing your best, and if you can take control of it, that's a huge accomplishment. So, oops. Why do I have two white kings there? Let me see here. There, okay. Man, so close. Black is so close to checkmating white. It's sad. Black is so close to winning. But it's not his turn. It is our turn, and we win. And he loses. And this should be a quick there's two mates here. There's two mates here. Oh wow, there's three. Let's see, that's actually the only one that wins is actually, yeah. The only one that wins is actually knight g5. Or g3, not g5. Knight g3. Kaboom. It's a tricky one. You gotta always be on. That's why it's good to always go over. Puzzle Rush is really good. It teaches you to be on the lookout for those moves sequences. Because they're in your game. Oops, what? What? And the Puzzle Rush, they're in the game. Come on. No, good. Thank you. It's still, my computer's working with me. Yeah, we get to learn an endgame with Smizlov tonight. That's gonna be fun. We're gonna get to do the endgame with Smizlov. Wonder why it's. I think he has a board in his mind. He's gotta see. You gotta make sure. There we go. Not sure. Let's see here. Make sure that all that's right. Yep. Yep, you got it. Just wanted to make sure there wasn't any other mates. And there wasn't. There it is. Yeah, you draw it onto a square where he has to take. He can't. I guess he could. He really. Nope. He has to because of this, that. Actually, this, this, and this here. So he has to. He has to take, and that's the reason. there's your meat. Slice and dice. I like the slice and dice meats. Hey, how you doing? Gadakomsky? I haven't seen his record recently, so I can't give you a. I'm not sure. He was really good for his time. I know he was one of the best. So, for when he was younger, he probably was unbeatable. I'm not sure now. I think he actually one time. I think at one time in his history, I think he did run. He was able to sit for the not as a candidate, but in the candidate bunch, he made it for the United States, I believe, to the candidates. Don't quote me on that. I heard somebody say that, so it may be wrong. I'm not sure, but he was that strong of a player. Yeah, they have superhuman strength. I mean, chess capacity. Queen takes, king takes, and then bishop g4 is mate. You gotta go boom when you get it right like that. We love it when a plan comes together. Yes, we do. Okay, dokie. Let me see. 4, 5, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 1. All right. Ooh, is this the Blackburn's mate with the bishops like this? I think there's a pattern that's named after this. Mm-hmm. You found all three. Good job. There's three. There was three mates in that one puzzle last time. The one we just priorly did. Oops, forgot a knight and a king. Oops, wrong mouse slip on my part. So a double checkmate, yep. You have to make sure it's double checked because of the potential of taking here. It has to be a double check. Otherwise, if you try a check here, he takes and it's black who checks. Oh, you are funny. There you go. I think that's, we have one king, and I think that's good. It's pretty impressive how I'd consider this move a double exclam. Queen d4, double exclam, check. Queen d4, check, double exclam, and then mate. One more, and we get to do the Smyslov game. Yeah, hip hip hooray, happy day. Gotta love those end games. And we love it when a plan comes together. There we go. And excuse me, there's a hiccup. Okay, perfect. Let's see there. Okay, right on. Your voice is funny? Oh, with the hiccup, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, sometimes I get the hiccups. This one should be a pretty cincher for you to take scope on. Queen check, pawn, and then pawn push, and kaboom, it's mate. If queen c7, then queen takes c7 is mate as well. Interesting one, yep. Now it's Smyslov time. Yes. This is Grandmaster Smyslov. Simplicity is what they said. The 7th world champion. Born in 1921, Smyslov was the second in a long line of Soviet grandmasters to win the highest title. His autobiography, titled In Search of Humility, sums up his style and and chess philosophy, crediting his father for the skills he eventually became known for. I find these words of Smyslov extremely interesting. He is instilled in me a love for so-called simplicity positions, which particularly if any have a few pieces in them. I was able to gain a deep feeling for what each piece is capable of, to sense their propensities and their strength and their importance in variations that differ from situation to situation on the board. The limits of their capability, what they like and what they don't like, and how they behave. Such a mutual understanding with the pieces enabled a player to see that which often remains cancelled to pure logical analysis. It is then that the inner ability of a player, which I call the sense of humility, manifests itself. Or harmony, harmony, the sense of harmony, which with the word like simplicity and harmony being tossed about, it's easy to imagine Smyslov as a dry player who craved boring positions. However, nothing can be farther from the truth. The seventh world champion was an excellent opening theoretician in his prime, and many new and dynamic ideas and even a whole system bear his name today. A positional player, he posed a deep chess instruction that allowed him to navigate complex looking situations with minimum calculation. So Smyslov he did simplicity. He was he had humility, and he did simplicity and humility. And there's even a line in chess called the Smyslov system that's named after this gentleman. His father bestowed into him the love of chess. You know what we have to remember is, though at home both quiet and complex middle games, his main strength is the endgame, Smyslov. And he claimed that his talent in this phase directly contributed to his world championship match victory over Boris Bonvinnik in 1957. Smyslov's ability to find simple, to the point solutions to complex endings is nicely demonstrated in our first example. So let's get our first example underway. I appreciate the offer, but I must turn you down. Thank you, though. White to move. Smyslov versus Yu Jun and Yu Kern, 1985. White to move here. So we get to write in Smyslov. That word it's I like saying that word. It's kind of funny. He's got a really cool name. Smyslov. There we go. We got it right. S-M-Y-S. All right. White to move. White is a pawn up, but the D pawn is firmly blockaded and in need of defense. His king is having trouble reaching the juicy H7 pawn. However, the 64-year-old endgame genius made the process look easy. Some key points. Oh, you like Mikhail Tal? Yeah, Tal was. I kind of, Tal reminds me a lot of Paul Morphy, older Paul Morphy. Okay, so what do you think the move is here? I'm gonna give it to you. White. Come on. Come on. White to move, exclaim. White to move, exclaim. You are Smyslov. You're Smyslov. White to move, exclaim. I'll be right back. You take a look at this position, take some time, and see what you think. He's saying that white doesn't want to allow black king to get to e5. So white doesn't want black's king to get to e5. Come on, work with me. So black doesn't want, white doesn't want black's king to get into a5. 2, black can't let white get land on e5. Then the blockade against the d pawn will be broken. Trading bishops, even if it loses the d pawn, usually leads to a winning pawn endgame since white's king is closer to the h pawn. To win, white must first figure out a way to safely get his king to f5. It will be a target for constant harassment or assault of an attack. The goal can only be acquired through the use of Zugzwang. Come on. Why is it? Patience, remember. The Lord only tries us with patience, so we have to be patient with our computers and the internet. Perfect. Okay. Oh, the Hulk thing? Nah. Life's too small, and stuff, and time and all that stuff. The Lord knows what's best, always. It's sometimes we have to learn patience. Yeah, Hulk, right? He said smash. That was funny. Like, yeah, Hulk. It says smash. It says that I would be angry at smash. That's what the Incredible Hulk said. Hulk smash and all that. Yeah, you gotta love it. That is funny. The 100 endgames. There's several more than just 100. Let me see here. So good. We can move again. Hooray! And you were right about F5. I don't know how many I've done, but I know I've done we probably did more than 100 in our endgame course. So this is to break the blockade of for a white pawn, and also coming over and getting this. So this is black's hold on the F5 square forces the defending bishop to a less flexible H4. Well, H4. Remember what Smyslov's idea was to do was to actually get his king to H4, H5, and come over and try to grab H6, and potentially break the hold of the position. So the best that he could try to do is trade off here and here, and then after takes, come over, potentially maybe come, takes, back, takes, up, back, and then back. Let me see, up, there, up, here, up, there, queen, and he's one move too late. One move too late. Black queen's one move sooner than his opponent. Black queen's one move. White queen's one move sooner. One move. And it reminds me very similar of the Searching for Bobby Fischer with Josh Waitzkins. The one game that he won, he was able to queen here, and the king was on d5, and so even though his opponent queened first, he queened with check along the h8 to a1 diagonal. So basically, if this were to happen, this is kind of what would elapse here. One move too late. He covers the queening square. One move too late. So that's why that didn't come to pass. He played actually a6, bishop a6. Forced two quick ways to lose. Two quick ways to lose is if bishop b7, which is actually a double question mark blunder. Bishop e6, bishop takes d5, bishop takes d5, king takes d5, king f5, king c5, king g6, king b5, king takes a5, king g5, king b4, h4, a5, h4, or h5, Just 1 second. Did I not push? Did I not push it all the way? Hold on. I apologize. That was my thing there. There. Otherwise, oops, I didn't push that all the way. And otherwise, it doesn't work. There, 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 and queens. And it gets a well-known situation where the promotion of one prevents the other. And so we already did the takes and all that. And if takes, this is a double question mark as well. So both these are double question mark moves. And then f5g, going after white's a pawn, even further behind the race, but he was kind of had to do that. So, but he played this instead to try to hold on, defending the d pawn and threatening to infiltrate in bishop e6. Bishop d3. White needs to show some fancy footwork if he wants to break through over to h6. For example, the straightforward king g4 would be foiled by bishop g6. So if he tried rather than here, bishop, I think it was, hold on, let me make sure I got this right. If he tried g4, then bishop to g there. Yeah. Like, you know how in boxers, if white played here, the bishop would come into g6 and then stop the infiltration in. So that's why he can't do that. So bishop f7. This prevents bishop going to g6. So king e7. Bishop h5 was played. So, but he's saying that potentially possible was king bishop c2 could be played here when queen bishop g5 or king g4 I mean, and then king e7, bishop e6, exclam, which is a really strong move. Bishop g6, and then potentially we have bishop f5, bishop f7, bishop e4, king f6, and then king f4, g8, and d6, exclam. That breaks the barricade. The barricade has finally been broken. The ramparts have been breached. Bishop e6. Bishop d7. Yep. Because you're forcing, you're actually giving space now for the king to come on in here and potentially play on both sides of the board. So bishop f3, let's see, 6, and bishop g4 leads to a successful breaking of the blockade against the d-pawn. Yeah. So bishop b5. Incredibly played is somewhat. This is somewhat complex pitfall. If you were to think about pushing, this is actually a mistake. This is surprisingly a mistake because king e7, h4, bishop c6. King e5, bishop b5, d8 equals queen, king takes, and then king into f6, bishop e8. G7, h5, f5, king c7, bishop g6, bishop c6, bishop takes h5, king h6, bishop g, bishop g6, bishop f3, a6, king c6, h5, bishop takes h5, bishop takes h5, king c7. Yeah, that is true, but you have to always be ready for other endgames too. And this is Smyslov. F6, king b8. King e5, and then king c7. Wait a second. King c, king d5, king b8, and black has actually created an unbeatable fortress. Black can't, and we can't actually break through here. There's no way to actually break through. This is actually a draw, unfortunately. There's nothing that see part 6 of Jeremy Silman's book and in the chapter, and this is actually a draw. So he did say that on h2 here, the proper move to win though he said was king e4. This is the proper move, king e4 exclam. The win is fairly easy after the accurate king e4, targeting black's a pawn and winning it. So bishop c6 check, king d4. We just go, okay, thank you very much. b7, king c5, king f7, and then bishop d7, with the idea of trading off. And that also gets an exclam mark as well, because that has a multi-purpose of again breaking the blockade. f6, king b5, king e5, and then bishop c6, and that wins on the spot. So so king d6. If king f6, then bishop g4 and bishop c4, c4 and d6 takes us to the third move that we talked about. Yeah. You can hang in there. We got it. We could do this. Bishop f3. Believe it or not, the end is near. One might, and we'll finish up on this, one might be justified in asking what white has accomplished. Isn't the bishop on the same diagonal that it started on? However, now black's bishop has actually headed away from the the h1 to b8 diagonal. Instead of, he was here. He was, this was where the bishop was, and now the bishop's here. So the difference is it's no longer stopping the king from infiltrating in. So it's lost a lot of its power. And e4 will shatter the control of white's king according to the f thing that we were talking about. The f pawn, or when we played, the bishop played to f5 back right here, and then it had to go here and then in. Bishop went to f5. Bishop c2, and if bishop h7, bishop g2 is an exclam move here. It goes after. We'll have to complete this one, and then we'll call it a day. Let me see here. Bishop G6. How does it go? Bishop. Hold on, bishop there. 7. Oh, I did. It's ace. I did a7. Darn it. It's h7 and then bishop here. That's the problem. And then bishop g6 again. Bishop e4. Bishop f7. King f5. And white has acquired his desired position. But he did it a different way. Bishop e4. Bishop d1. And then king f5. At last, we have done it. Bishop e2. h4. It doesn't hurt to get his pawn a bit closer to the queenie square, as long as it stays on a safe dark square. Bishop h5. King f6. Bishop e2. Bishop g2 exclam. He says this, a very accurate move. Now or later, this will stop e5 from approaching, because the pawn then can actually start running. Bishop g4. King g6. And finally, he has to put it on a light square, which will be the end. Note that without bishop on g2, black could have played king e5 and hit the bishop with tempo, but now that it's not there, it can't be hit with tempo. King f6, exclam. This stops the king from coming in. And now we have the ability to bring our king to g5. Still delaying black's king access to e5. So bishop e2, bishop e4, bishop g4, bishop h1, bishop e2, king f5. White's king is heading back to f4 and support the bishop on f3, and that would win the h-pawn. So he wants to actually come here, play there, and exchange, and after the exchange come back and pick this pawn up. Oops, I don't know why I did g5. It's f5, sorry, not g5. So g4 check, king f4, bishop e2, then bishop f3, exclam, and resignation. And it's a resignation at this point. And so the continuation, we'll do the. There is a continuation Jeremy Silman talked about. I'll just put we'll do that. White is winning at this point. The king and pawn endgame after bishop takes, king f, king c5, king g5, b5, takes, and then king g5, leaving white way ahead in the race after. So if he tries, that's way ahead in the race. So if he tried another line, there's one more line, b5, uh, king to g5, bishop e8, bishop takes, and also the game is over at this point. Impressive, no doubt, but there's an even better one. We'll do that one tomorrow because we're right on time. We finished right on time. Do you have any questions? Okay. I wanted to thank you all for participating. I also wanted to wish you a good tournament tomorrow. That you do good chess 360, and remember, have fun. Whatever the result is, take it home and learn, and continue to keep improving. And that's what it's about: honoring the Lord with our gifts. And that's what Yavzer Seirawan said. He said that every long journey begins with one small step. So if we just keep pushing forward, we can do it. And like what we said, we don't give up, get up. And then there's one that we talked about. Yeah, Bruce Lee didn't fear the person who practiced 10,000 individual kicks, but he feared the person who practiced one kick 10,000 times. And what we have to do is take our knowledge and then apply it. Take what we know and apply. That's what Bruce Lee said, and then be willing to do something with it. And then we also said, don't remember to treasure your victories and learn from your losses. And remember that mistakes do not define you. It's how you handle the mistake that defines you. As a chess player, and a person in general in the field that you have. Bruce Lee also said that the human mind does reach a plateau, but you have to desire to go past that plateau. And I know you, my Chess Cruncher team, always strive for even greater heights to honor the Lord with your gifts that He's given you. And that's very vital and cool. I'm glad you're doing that. But always remember to bring your Grandmaster glasses with you too, so that you can constantly be looking like Smyslov did, Alexander Alekhine. Let's see, I think we did Rubinstein, and let me see. Oh, Capablanca. Those were the four. We're working on Smyslov now. And then the next one's going to be Bobby Fischer. And I think that's you become what you think about. So Chess 360, think positive thoughts on the Lord when you enter the tournament, and just have fun and enjoy it. And remember, what do chess crunchers do? They hang up their coat, they hang up their hat. A chess cruncher sits down and studies when most won't. A chess cruncher does, and that makes all the difference. And as Wesley So says to the Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless. And I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, the Lord will, and I'll be back on tomorrow. And we'll keep pushing forward in our studies with Smyslov in the endgame. We'll do some puzzles, some more openings, and we'll do Frank J. Marshall's best games of chess. So you remember what Hannibal Smith said. He said he loved it when a plan came together, but he also said that he wanted to predict what his opponent was going to do, have a plan based around it, and then keep his plan in mind so that once he stopped his opponents, he can institute his. And I think that's a good idea of what Smyslov, why his play was so simplistic, was by stopping his opponent's plan, it also helped his plan out. So it's harmony. And so just remember, 2 thumbs up, hoorah, be blessed, and have fun studying chess always, honoring the Lord with the gifts that you have, and keep pushing forward. Okay, be blessed, hoorah, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.